Welcome to today's episode of Mystery Stamping. This is the last mystery stamping of the year 2023, and it's crazy to think that 2024 is just around the corner. But our next mystery stamp should be on January the 11th, and I do believe the clues are already on my website in my events page. And so if you want to join for that, then just go get the clues there and get your bits and pieces cut out and join me for that mystery stamp. But for today, December 28th, 2023, we're going to get started here. So here are the clues, and on the first thing is we need a card base. And my card base, I'm using Poppy Parade. And it is an 8.5 by 5.5. And I scored it here at 4.25. So this is Poppy. And then our coordinating cardstock. And when I say coordinating cardstock, you can use basic white and things like that if you want. And you can always swap out coordinating cardstock for DSP if you ever want to, but I just put down pretty much what it is that I'm making. Excuse me. Or, that's the pieces that I'm using. But, so here's the rest of it. My next piece is coordinating cardstock is 4.5. So it's 4.5 inches by 3.25. And this is Daffodil Delight. And then I have another piece that is 4 inches. Well, I guess it's 4 inches and 4 3/8 inch. Sorry, by 3 1/8. And then I have. Whoops. I have this piece here that is designer series paper that is 4.25 by 2 7/8. And then I have this piece that is 3.25 by 2. But I think I ended up using it for my image. Not certain about that. And then I have my 5.25 by 4 for the inside. And then I didn't put it on here, but I have a piece of designer series paper, and it's like 3/4 inch by 4. And I think we'll put that on the inside. And so this piece here, this 3.25 by 2, I'm not certain if I used it or not. So if I didn't, I'm sorry. And it may have got left on from another one, but I think that's what this one is. And I think ended up using it because because when I plan these, I do the pieces, and then I think I planned this as, maybe I meant to put this over the top of that. Well, that's how I'll do it today. And then I do have some other pieces here that are just white that I'm going to use for my images to die cut or punch out or whatever. So I'm going to do this a little bit different than what the sample that I made, because I think I left a piece off my sample. But that's okay, because it's mystery stamping, and this is just using the bits and pieces that you have at your house. And so, I'm not perfect, and sometimes I forget things or I add things on. So I try not to do that, but you can always make it your own by changing anything on this. But I will show you what I had intended. In the stamp set that I'm using is the bundle Bee My Valentine, because I've been waiting to play with this, and I think it's so cute. I like all the little faces and different things, and and that you can build the little bees and their little wings and stuff. So I've got that. And the DSP is also the Be Mine 12 by 12, and so this is what I used for my card, and it's got a lot of the cute little patterns in here. There's some plain patterns and some florally patterns and stripes, different things. Those are really cute bees. Those are cute. So just different things, but really cute designs. And so that's the paper that I chose for mine. You could choose anything, and your supplies do not have to be Stampin' Up. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator, so I tried to use the Stampin' Up supplies, but that's all that, you do what you have, and I use what I have. So I'm going to move these over. This is just to come up with ideas of making cards, not to make you, use what I use type thing. So I'm going to bring in, I have several of the stamps already mounted, and so I'm going to bring them in, what I need. And then my inks, and the inks that we're going to use today are Daffodil Delight, and Tuxedo Memento Black. These are the two colors that we're using. Alright, and I like to store my Tuxedo Black upside down so that it can, the ink will be to the surface. Our other pads are already designed that way. So for this piece, I'm going to make my images that I can punch out. So I'm going to bring in, this is the body of the bumblebee. I'm going to ink that up with a daffodil. And I'm going to stamp and hold. And then I'm going to take the heart for the wings, and I'm going to stamp that here. And then I'm going to flip this over to where I've already stamped, because stamp off, and then stamp here. The back won't be seen, so it doesn't matter, so I just put it behind the part that I wanted. And then, I'm going to start adding, I think that's all of the daffodil that I need. So I'm going to close that ink up. And then I'm going to open up my Memento Black and do the other stamping. So here are the wings, the outlines of the wings. I'm just going to ink that up and try my best to line that up. And then bring in the body. And I did just re-ink this black and the daffodil. Try not to get my head in the camera. So I'm just lining the stripes up on the bumblebee. And I did not do a very good job because this should have been on the yellow, so I'll try that one again. So I'm just re-inking that. And when you're at a different angle, it makes it harder to see. So I'm going to turn it this way so that I can look at it a different direction. you could be stamping whatever images you have, if you have images. I just wanted his stinger to be attached like that. And then I'm going to turn that around so that I can put a face. So I've got the smile with the two little eyes. I'll put this up here. And I don't know why I like this set, because we had hornets in our house this year, and that was a little scary to have those, and so I was trying to get rid of them. Of course, I wouldn't want bees in my house either, but these are so cute. So I'm going to put this down here, and these are the antennas of the bee, and there's a little heart in the punch that we'll punch that out. All right, so we have that. I'll set this right here. And then I have another piece of white cardstock, being I had to use the whole piece there. So I always have extra on hand. And I'm going to use my words, and they are, "You'll always be the one for me. You'll always be the one for me." I'm kind of stamp that there. Like that. Then I'm going to take the Wink of Stella and brush the wings of the bee to give them a little bit of shimmer. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of shimmer. It's easier to do it when it's on a full sheet than whenever it's pieces, so that's why I'm doing it now. I'm just adding a little bit of shimmer on his black stripes and a stinger. We're going to fussy cut this out. So when it's something like this where it's like offset and it's different fonts, I just like to zigzag around the letters. Just move my paper around so that and I'm not trying to like mimic the exact shape of the letters or anything like that. I just do the zigzagging. That way, if I happen to, make a mistake, they're all that way. So it just isn't a straight edge. I figure if it's all kind of got that, wavy edge, it's not as big a deal. Take this little bit off that F. So there's that. And all I did was, like I said, I just zigzagged it around, and that way I'm not trying to make it straight lines and things like that. Close my ink up. Well, oh, I've got one more thing to stamp. So I'm going to bring this in. Move this up there. And I have a dimensional sheet here, and I'm just going to slide it under here. Oh. I'll layer that there. And I'm going to ink up. I have another. It's the little lines of a bee buzzing. ink that up. Kind of like that. I wanted it to be on both, and I'm gonna try to pop one up. Now I can close my ink, I believe. I can start putting my bits and pieces together. Whoops. It's a brand new bottle and it was dripping out as soon as I took the lid off. I'll pick this up. Just add it down here at the bottom. And it brings in the same Poppy Parade and the white and then the Daffodil Delight. Bring in the card base. Use my bone folder and crease. I'm just going to add glue to the top. We don't need it over the whole thing for the inside. Now, when it's a front layer, I add it to the whole thing. But I go through so much glue. Whoops. Did not mean to slide that. It's one good thing about having glue, it gives you wiggle room. Okay, I have an old sanding block and the edges here are really rough, and I'm trying to get some of that. And if you have like a nail file or anything, you can get these rough edges. I may have to buy a new paper cutter because I've tried changing blades and everything, and it keeps doing that. But it sees a lot of stuff. So there's that. I'm going to bring in these next two, and we're going to start layering them. So I'm going to take the Poppy Parade. Remember, I always put it in the corners, or at least I've started doing that. And just add a little bit. And it helps hold those corners down. Like that. Let's see, I've got some other rough edges here. You just swipe a sander, nail file, anything over it. And then we have this. I'm going to add some glue to the back of this. And lay it down. Like that. And this one here, I think I might use some dimensionals. And we're almost finished. Cover, make it where those look about the same. Glue this down on the front of my card. Turned it sideways, so maybe if I'm looking at it from a different perspective, maybe I could get it straighter than I did before. Alright, so now then we're going to just punch these out and put them together. Cut those apart. I hope I didn't have them too close together. I'll bring in my bee. Whoops. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little tip. I cannot reach that into my punch. So I'm going to put it on a post-it note so that I have a handle. And then slide it up in there. And it makes lining it up so much easier. I have that. Keep that just in case I need it for these others. Okay, so I'm going to trim this other piece off. Put this into my punch, line it up. I just add a little pressure so I can look and see. That looks pretty good. And then the little antennas, I need this piece because I cut it the wrong direction. I'm going to slide this up into that heart. And there's our other bits. Okay, so now we can put it together. I'm just going to add glue on the tip of the heart. And this other tip of the heart. Like that. And like that. And then I'm going to add dimensionals to hold it together. Put my little bee there, and then the words that I have, I need to decide where I'm going to put them. I think I'm going to sit them down here. So I'll add some dimensionals to the back of that as well. You could emboss these, or I think I'm gonna have them like going off the page or off that layer just a bit. And then I have the embellishments that go with the suite of the Be Mine. I'm going to add a little bit of that. So there's some hearts on here. Let's go with a large heart. A smaller one. And a large flower. And a little bit smaller one. How about down there? And so there is our card. You will always be the one for me. Oops, pardon me. And then the inside. You could stamp some like buzzing going off the page if you wanted. So there's the one that I just made, and I will show you the sample that I did up ahead of time. Like I said, I think I took my little piece here and used it to stamp and do my bee before, but I tried to make it close to how I sent it out. So here is the first one that I did in advance. So a couple different ideas on things you could change up. Just take this layer off if you want. And this could be another different color cardstock with the bee. I think it kind of makes it pop the color of the bee out. I could have put my words on a different color. Probably could have put them on Daffodil Delight and stamped them in the black and put there, but I didn't want too much Daffodil Delight on there. But there we go. There our mystery is solved, and this is the card that I came up with. 2 different versions. So I want to thank you for joining me today for the mystery stamp. I hope that you'll take the card pattern and find multiple different ways to use it, using different stamp sets and different sayings and different embellishments, different DSP. You could use this over and over. So this could be a Christmas card. It could, just by changing out the paper and what you use for the embellishments. So thank you for joining me, and the next one will be on January the 11th. Happy stamping!